Do you want to win the ultimate Riders Republic experience? Well, sorry, we don't have it. But Redditors asked the age-old question, what would you do if you could change one thing in the game? How would we enjoy being dev for a day? Our answers coming up in this week's main topic. Welcome back to the Riders Report.
Before we get started today, we want to recognize our existing YouTube members. A special thank you goes out to executive producers Bone Crusher 2D, Coach 34, and my mom, and our fans and Fans Plus.
If you'd like to become a member for as low as 99 cents a month and help support our channel, you can hit join below to learn more about perks like early access to the Riders Report, emojis and badges, a members only video per month, sneak peeks, and more.
The only news this week comes from Riders Republic.
Hang on, wait, I have some more news. We just learned right before we sat down to record that our YouTube channel now has the ability to include a shop feature. So is anyone interested in like a Nick and Mitt or a Tartiflette Games t-shirt, sticker, or a hat? Let us know and we'll look into it. Mitch, take it away. Sorry.
No problem. Over on Twitter, Riders Republic posted the final 4 contestants from the Assassin's Creed photo challenge in Riders Republic. They are, I should have tried to pronounce these before, Grararala, Just Steep It, Marcy, a lot of numbers, and Pizza Ya 3. And I think the top 3 winners, they said, will show on the screen in the game, and that should be announced pretty soon. So I'm excited to see who wins that.
Yeah, good luck to everyone. User Jox81 posted over on Reddit. Okay, all right. It's 2023 and Ubisoft is in need of help. You get a call from them asking you to add something new to the map. What do you choose? So it's not necessarily whatever you want. It is specifically adding something to the map. Mm-hmm. So you can't say remove whatever else or change this, right?
Yeah, I don't think we're going for like add a feature,
right.
But like add sports, add anything. It's like, what would you add or tweak to the map?
I like this one.
And I know it's more specific than a lot of the questions that are posted with like, what feature do you want most?
Yeah.
And there's quite a few good answers in there too.
Yeah, I really liked the top comment, a massive snow-covered dormant volcano that has 360 degrees of downhill snow and air sports, and on the inside is a totally hollow bike rider's paradise. So you go to the top of the mountain, kind of like, was it Kirby Air Ride back on the GameCube? This is a deep cut, man. You go to the top of the parking garage in Kirby Air Ride, and you hit one of those panels, and it drops you down into a volcano where there's like an inside ice palace basically, and all you can do is ride out. But still, I like that idea that it's this volcano where you're riding down the mountain, you never think anything of it, and all of a sudden, wait a minute, what's that little crack over there? I wonder if I can get through there. Drops down, boom, you are in an undisclosed bike arena. And honestly, if they did something like this, I think an Easter egg for a feature that big would be hilarious in game, right? They don't tell you about the skate park, they just say a massive volcano just appeared in Riders Republic. Go check it out. What's happening? That's all you get. And then, holy crap, we have 3 new skate parks, something insane.
That would be crazy. And I can almost, we don't really have a big water spot, but if it was like rising out of the ocean or is a little bit isolated, even one of the mountains, one of the Tetons, they could just transform into a volcano, because I don't think too many people are riding over in that area. And that would be cool too, having something inside as well. Maybe, and then you'd have like lava rocks that you have to like bunny hop the bike around, like one of those obstacle courses. Ooh, it's
like the Trials bikes, like the real life Trials bikes.
There's some like patches that you can ride on, but then like the riders in the Republic have built some custom things to navigate around. It would be pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that's phenomenal. Were there any others on the in the comments section before we get to our picks? Are there any that you saw that really stood out?
I saw another city like Mammoth, but designed for BMX, which would be good because Mammoth was not really designed when BMX was going to be in the game, or at least isn't really tailored to BMX, so they could go back through and like either add a new city with that.
I see that one as plausible, honestly. because there's so much. I mean, we're just going to say it again. There's so much room down in the desert. It's no shock that it seems like there's something that's going to fill in a lot of that flat space, right? Like that's just too much of unrideable land to be anything. I could see Area 52 popped up. Great. That populated a spot of it. Now it's time to do something else. And I think that's the perfect spot. So I could see that being in the works as we progress, some kind of resort right outside of Area 52.
Cities would be tough because they're not in the national parks, but neither is Area 52 and all those hangars. So they moved a little bit away from that. Yeah. So they do have some flexibility. It would be nice to see the city redesigned for BMX, especially if we're going to get a skateboard or something too, like the snow skate. If they want to move into that direction, kind of revamping that city for wheel sports would be nice.
I don't know how you would do it. You would have to have another city set up, but something like Grand Theft Auto, when they introduced the snow into GTA 5, is to have the park melt. Like, hey, Mammoth is melting. It's melted. Now it's a bike park for a season or 2 weeks, whatever it is, some finite amount of time, some short amount of time where they melt everything down and you have like a melt party or something in spring, early summer.
Yeah.
I don't know. The one thing that I really resonated with, there were a few different requests on here, and I am admittedly going to jump on that bandwagon as well as my request or my wish to add one thing to the map would be more terrain for the snow sports to explore and to get lost in. One of my favorite things from Steep was just throwing Spotify on and going and cruising for what felt like 30 minutes at a time before I reached the base of a mountain. And honestly, you could carve for 30, 40 minutes and just take your time getting through the trees and doing all of that. That aspect, I don't feel it as much in Riders Republic. I still find myself loading Steep to go carve and shred whenever I want to, when I want to get lost. I don't feel like there's enough space for snow sports and for snow riders to get lost in just yet. So some people were saying just make bigger mountains so that we have a longer top to bottom, longer trails. But I really like Jake Silverfur said Rocky Mountain expansion to increase the map size. So that is not adding something to the map. That is adding a whole new map. But that is something that I would love. I would love to see more of a mountain range, some taller mountains, some longer runs for the snow sports specifically.
I think that is something that was missing. Again, just the cruising on a mountain. A lot of the mountains in Steep felt, or at least some of them, they were a little flatter so you could cruise longer. I'm thinking of Point Per Se, I think the one where you first started, and you could just go for ages. And I feel like some of the snow sections in Riders Republic, they're more curved and they kind of force you into the middle where they have some stuff designed, but it's harder to get out of there. Especially the one area where you have the creek and the trees going over and back. There's not much to the left or right of that. Like once you're in that, you're doing that course for a while.
Well, and we have to remember Steep was built as an ode to mountains, period. The guys that were designing the game and the terrain in Steep were actually going to these mountains. They were studying geology and they were studying the rock formations and how everything functions up on these mountains to make it feel as realistic as possible. I mean, you take something like the Matterhorn, and yeah, the Matterhorn is the Matterhorn, but it's in the game and it feels scary when you're on top of it. Like, they did their homework. They did it right. I'm not saying that Riders Republic didn't do the geology part of it right and the terrain part, because we have some incredible national park features, but again, they're not snow focused. So I think if you take that same love and you throw it into a mountain and you give us, Mitch, name a mountain in the United States in the Rockies.
Steamboat Springs. That's a resort. That one.
That one. Study it and throw it into the map. I mean, I think just one big mountain, even if it's a DLC, just one mountain would be enough. Like the size of Japan in Steep would be perfect for snow sports in this game. I was also going to say that they could add the Olympics, but we've already done that. We've already suggested that, and it went. No, I'm just kidding. Do you have one that strays?
It doesn't stray. I don't know if it strays too much from this topic, but adding something to the map, I would add more fake events that are around. Now we have, I guess that's hard to explain. Like if you're in Mammoth and you're by the school, there should be some riders, not the AI riders that we have now, like actual like NPC riders that are hanging out like after school where they're, like sitting at the picnic table. They're maybe have a little competition going on, or in different areas of the map, they're like pop-up tents and it like looks like an event's going on. Not what we have now where it looks like an event was there 2 weeks ago and then everyone had to leave the country.
So, so you're not saying something that is rideable, just a visual? Like
more so, yeah. Like
AI doing a contest and you're just skiing by?
Yeah, or just like they're getting ready for a contest. So like you go up and another radio station's playing like we have in the Ridge. Because I think that's kind of cool to discover when you're riding and then you hear some music, so you ride towards it and there's people gathered around a feature and some AI are just like shredding on a spot.
That would be really cool. That would also be really cool. Like if the map somewhere down the future became more dynamic and they were featuring like, oh, Swatch is hosting an event on the mountain. Oakley is hosting an event on the mountain. Burton is having a skills comp where like 2 weeks before they're building the event, where the snow is packed, but it doesn't have the lines on it yet. The lights aren't up, the risers, the stands aren't built. And slowly and surely every week they add different elements as, like you said, they're pumping music from day one, but you look over and you're like, what is that construction that's going on? Oh crap, that's an actual date. I will be back in 2 weeks to play on that because it looks phenomenal. I do like that.
Yeah, I just think the AI we have right now is just a lot of people riding, but there's nothing actually going on the map, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it just feels like there's a lot of people doing nothing. It feels like Jerry Smith in Rick and Morty when he's in the simulator by accident and he's not getting all of the bandwidth to make his simulation feel realistic. My man, that's kind of the vibe that I get from the AI in the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, more dynamic AI, just make them look like they're living and doing things and existing, not just playing tube drums or just riding aimlessly through the plains. Look, the list could go on. We could add things to this game. We do every single week that we have an episode. We add one more thing that we want to see in the game. The obligatory, I think the game is great the way it is. There's always room for improvement, though, and we would love to hear what features you would like to add to the map, specifically add to the map this year if Ubisoft gave you the keys. So let us know down in the comments. Let us know over on our Discord, or just, let us know. I mean, look, this ties in perfectly. Starting the Riders Roundup, Gnarly Duck coming out with a free ride series. This is different than anything that we have featured on the channel. This is a brand new series on YouTube that is exploring the trails and sounds of nature. So it is not an extreme montage. It is not a tricks edit. It is just enjoying the parks and what the game has to offer.
I do like this kind of different spin that he's putting on it. He's finding and creating different trails that you can ride and just on like an easy, nice cruise ride and enjoy the landscape. Something that I don't think happens as much in this game. And you don't have the NPCs all zooming around right now, which really helps in this too, because it is like you almost have the national park to yourself at sunset and you're cruising down the road.
And Gnarly rocking those shiny pants. Gnarly, I would love to take a shiny pants cruise with you anytime. Hit me up. I am ready to ride. Moving on from the calmest clips Riders Republic has ever seen to the hardest clips Riders Republic has ever seen. It is Zerk Gets Focused with episode 10 of his montage.
Of course. And he starts off with the intro and then goes right into it with an insane trick from the wingsuit to the just watch it, the BMX off the wall and then back up and then into the chairlift, and I don't know anymore.
Drugs had to have been involved. There's no question there. And finally, Wrapping it up this week, playing in the background for the end of this episode, it is The Long Way Down, Riders Republic, episode 60 from Hollow Endeavor. Thanks for joining us for episode 58 of our first 100 guaranteed episodes of the Riders Report.
And of course, a very special thanks goes out to our YouTube members, our executive producers, Bone Crusher 2D, Coach 34, and my mom, our co-producers, Fans, and Fans Plus. And if you want to be very cool like our members and help support our channel so we can keep making really weird ideas like our music video, you can hit join down below and you'll get early access to the show, emojis, badges, members-only videos, and more.
I saw you look up. You did that entire thing from memory. You can't tell me otherwise. Just a recap. If you're interested in Nick and Mitch merch, if anyone wants to wear the logo, wear TFG stuff, I know we have shirts custom made for just us. But if anyone else would like to join and send some love our way, let us know down in the comments, and we will definitely look into linking a merch shop to the YouTube channel. That sounds crazy. It sounds like we don't deserve it. But you can also just subscribe if you can't pay the monthly subscriptions to be a member of the channel. You can subscribe for free to catch all of our great Riders Republic content, including the Riders Report and X Games style competitions. TFG coming back soon. What that competition is we'll see you same place, same time next week for episode 59 of the Riders Report. Have I said Riders Report enough in the outro here?
You said Riders Republic in the intro.
We're not talking about it. Hey, I'm Nick.
And I'm Mitch.
And we'll see yins on the slopes.